Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy back in the shop for a little shop ADHD, a little project. But right off the bat, I'm sure you see something that's extremely noticeable here. Mr. Stan of Bar Z fame did two things. Well, he did several things for me when he sent me these blocks of steel with these large 1 1/4 by 7 hex head bolts. One, he really pissed off my male person. She didn't even try to pick these up. This was in 2 boxes, 75 pounds a piece. And Stan must have used $20 worth of strapping tape to keep these from falling apart. But the good news is Stan donated these for my press project. So he sent me 6 of these blocks with 2 bolts each for a total of 12. Nice. Then I was able to find an auction on eBay for $4 a piece for 7 more of these, which gives me a grand total of 19. These are perfect sized. I want 6 per post, 24 of them total, so I'm getting there without spending a ton of money. Retail price on these things is about 20 bucks a piece, so a lot of moolah. I just figured something out. I've been having a hell of a time with this wireless mic setup. It's this Sarmonic wireless mic. When it works great. But I've been having trouble with it, and I just figured something out. Here's the battery door. What do you think happens when you press on the battery door? So here I am talking to you, and I've pressed on the battery door. So it also tends to, if you're handling it, okay, I think we're on. Anyway, I got a sticker from Stan. We're going to add this to the collection. Stan, I don't know how I got away from attending every bash and not having one of your stickers. But also, thank you very much for your donation here to the press project, which is going slowly, and I apologize, but I got to be honest. I'm either going to have to do some serious changes when it comes to material handling around here, or I can't work on this stuff until I got like 3 or 4 dudes up in here, you know. When the uprights weigh 250 pounds a piece, whew, well, you know, no, that ain't going to happen. Also, I received, in addition to Stan's very generous offering here, gotta love flat rate shipping. Shit would have never happened without it. Received a gift here from Mike Nixon of Jackson, Michigan. Mike says, James, enjoy your videos. You just don't make enough of them. I'm sorry, Mike. But hey, I'm working on it. And anyway, what he did is he sent me some coasters. Very nice coasters. A whole set of them here. And some, oh, hold on, coasters. We had other stuff too. Hold on. I think we got something to assemble here. What is this? Huh? What do we have here? Another coaster. Oh, coasters and a rack for the coasters. Very nice. Let's see how this all goes together. Make sure I don't throw anything away. Okay. How do this? Ah, okay. classy. Uh-oh, gonna need a wrench. Very nice. Quite classy. Mr. Mike Nixon there of Jackson, Michigan. Thank you very much, Mike. Greatly appreciated. I'm going to probably leave these here in the shop for after work brewskis or bourbons for a nice cocktail when the men visit. I don't know that my children or wife would properly appreciate the fine machining. These are really quite nice. Solid aluminum. I mean, almost hockey puck size. Very nice. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll enjoy seeing more videos from me soon. I have been swamped with work. And so the project we're going to do today is is related to some of the work I've been doing. So why don't we go into some video that I've already shot and then continue from there. Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy here, back in the shop. Got a few things going on here in the shop. Been kind of busy this week. Had a few little projects. I'll try to show you some pictures of, see if I got some pictures of. I did some counterboring on a carb spacer for a buddy of mine, a little buddy do. I think I got a picture of that set up. We'll show that now. There you go. Pretty interesting. It's pretty plain little Holley carb spacer. So, you know, the bolt pattern is 4 1/4 by 5 5/8. So I just faced off a couple edges to get a flat surface, to get a good reference surface, and mounted it up between some blocks in the vise and drilled away. So anyway, he's happy. Got a few additions to the tool caddy here. Let's see. Unusual tap size. I'm not going to say what this is for. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to show it to you. Okay? And then the first person to identify it properly wins the honor of being the first person to identify it properly. It's a 1x14 tap. So, what is 1x14 tap commonly used for in the United States? So today what we're going to do is, got a little project here. I make some parts occasionally that I have to turn a coil. I have to wrap a coil on. And I use this wire right here. This is 28 gauge magnet wire. 2,000 feet goes in that little spool. It's a little stuff here, right? And I wrap this on some parts. Use my lathe to do it. My Rivette here, I used to do it. And so I've done enough of them now that I've decided I want to figure out a better way to do it than what I've been doing, which is basically sticking a screwdriver through here, right? And just kind of holding it and manually. the coil doesn't have to be laid out in some kind of scientific manner. I don't have to have some precise wraps per inch or anything like that for it to work. However, that still doesn't mean I want to be holding it by hand and doing this. So I want to come up with a way to hold this in the BXA on the revet, and to be able to tension this a little bit, to put a little bit of tension on the wire so that it lays down nice and smooth, and I don't get any bird's nest with this jumping around, right? So that's what we're going to work on. And we got some parts laid out here. Got a here's a stick 5/8 303 stainless. The idea of this, by the way, is 5/8. And spring. This is a cone tight compression spring, so it'll pack up into its own space, right? And a little rubber washer, well, not really a little rubber washer, kind of a big rubber washer, and a thumb screw, big old 5/8 by 11 thumb screw. So the idea here is we're going to take a chunk of this 303, trim it down on one end so it'll go into a BXA tool block. It's like a boring bar, for instance. And then we're going to thread one end and use this friction washer and this spring to apply tension to the spool, and use this big old thumb screw as the adjuster. So it's a quick little project, but when we're done getting this set up, I'll go ahead and drop a part in there, and we'll cut it and wrap it, and you'll see how the whole process works. All right, so I went and cut a piece off that 6 long foot stick of 303, and here's a BXA, you know, you call this the multi-purpose. This is the BXA2, which has the regular slot for a 5/8 inch tall square tool, and then it also has the V slot in the bottom for a boring bar. So as far as round goes, I don't think a 5/8 round, yeah, I don't think it fits on center. It doesn't. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take a piece of this and turn it down to, say, 1/2 inch. Do a little precision layout there. We're going to have to turn this down to 1/2 inch so that it will clamp in the tool holder. Then we'll have this on here, like so. And then we'll have I have to make that hole bigger, excuse me. Actually, how it goes. We'll have this rubber washer on here. And then this rather large V-spring. So we'll need to thread, say, somewhere from here to, say, here. It was a good 1.25 inch range there. And then we'll part off here. We'll lose that and get us a nice, that'll be a nice setup there. So that's what we use this for. This. It's about 1,000 RPM. You can bet those chips are hot. So I'm gonna dial in 50. All right, I'm at about 550 where I expected to be, so I'm gonna dial in 50 more. Sorry for the noisy there. Just face this off, turn this down to a 1/2 inch, face this off and put a nice chamfer on there so that it doesn't cut the shit out of me when I go to use it. So we're gonna turn around here. And find my marks. Okay. First things first, I want to part off about there. We will not be running at 1500 RPM for that operation. Let's see, where's my part off tool? That might be a little slow. There we go. Okay, YouTube, here we are. We got our thread on the end there. We got our 1/2 inch turn down location here, which is going to go right in here. So a bunch of you are probably wondering, well, Kilroy, why did you forward and reverse to cut that thread on the end of that rod? Why did you not just, engage and disengage the half nuts? I'll tell you why. It appears that my threading dial and my lead screw are no longer involved in an intimate relationship. That's correct. The thread dial, I was watching the thread dial, and I watched the thread dial skip at least 1 or 2 teeth. So a future video is going to be ripping into the apron in this thing and finding out what we need to do in order to fix that. Part of the problem is I thought I measured that. Oh, it's the thread. There we go. So there. That is why I didn't engage and disengage the half nuts. Once I engaged the half nuts, I had to keep them engaged because I couldn't reliably get back to the same place. Kind of a bummer. Oh, here's another bummer. This 5/8 by 11 stainless steel thumb screw that I bought from McMaster car basically didn't have any threads in it. It had what kind of looked like some grooves, and so I had to run a tap down in there just to get that thing to, I think that's going to work pretty well. So let's mount it up to the machine. Okay, we're going to need a spacer. We got a little contact. I need to move that out. Probably say 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to have to make us a spacer to go in here. All right, so you saw the first part of the coil winder and how I didn't actually look to see if I had room for the coil winder to run parallel to the piece in the lathe, which I don't. So I took a piece of big old chunky angle and cut off this little square. And what we're going to do is we're going to mount this in the BXA and allow me to move the center line of the wire both up and back away from the part to give me some room to work. This will also allow me to mount a guide, almost like an eye on a fishing rod, to guide the wire. So that's what we're going to do in part 2. So move onwards and upwards to part 2 after this. Want to give a shout out to Keith Fenner. Saw that he was having some health issues, posted on Facebook. Anyway, pulling for you, Keith. Looking forward to seeing you back in the shop soon. So hope you get better. Anyway, be safe in the shop, and I'll be back with you guys soon.